Our first story today. After 12 years together, I've just found out my boyfriend doesn't want children. Dear Aunt Jay, me and Dylan have been together since we were 16. We're now 28, so literally half our lives have been side by side. We've done everything together: college, moving into our first flat, buying our first home. We've even been through money struggles, job changes, family drama, you name it. So for me, our next natural step would be starting a family soon. I didn't even think it would need some big, serious talk. I just assumed, after all this time, that of course kids would be part of our future. But the first time I actually said it out loud, that I was ready to think about having children now, Dylan went dead quiet. Then he said, I don't want children. I never have. At first I laughed because I actually thought he was joking, but he wasn't. He was dead serious. He said he loved the life we built just the way it is, and kids would ruin everything, plus they're so expensive. He told me he never pictured himself being a dad, not once. I was shocked. How did we make it 12 years without ever talking about this? I went back over everything in my head, every conversation, every plan, and I realised I'd been assuming all along, and he'd been avoiding the truth all along. And since then, it's like I can't stop hearing this clock ticking in my head. I go to baby showers, birthday parties, christening. I smile for my friends, but inside I feel sick. I look at Dylan from across the room, laughing with my friends' husbands. And I keep thinking, he's the man I thought I'd have children with. And now he's telling me flat out that he'll never be that man. I tried to raise the subject again with him. I said maybe one child, maybe later, maybe we could compromise. He cut me off and he said, having a child isn't something you can compromise on. You either want it or you don't, and I don't. The thing that stings the most is that he admitted he always knew this about himself. From the very start, he knew he never wanted kids. But he never told me because he didn't think it mattered. Of course it matters. It changes everything. And now I'm stuck. Do I throw away 12 years of history, the only relationship I've ever known, because our futures don't line up? Or should I bury what I want and just pretend that I'll be happy without it? I feel completely trapped. Dylan's been my everything since I was a teenager. And now I'm starting to realise if I stay, I'm choosing him over the family I've always pictured in my head. And I don't know if that's what I should do or if I'd be betraying myself. You've been with Dylan since you were both 16. You were kids. So it's understandable this conversation never came up back then. At 16, nobody's really thinking about babies or planning out the rest of their lives. But now you're both nearly 30 and the truth is out. So he doesn't want children. That doesn't make him a bad partner or mean he's tricked you. It just means the two of you want different futures. And that's the hardest part because neither of you is wrong. Wanting a family is valid, of course. Not wanting a family is valid as well. The problem is you can't bend on this without someone losing something huge. If you stay with him, you'd have to let go of being a mum. If he gave in, he'd end up in a life he never wanted. Either way, someone ends up unhappy. So the question becomes, can you truly see yourself living a full life without children? If the answer is no, then you need to think long and hard about whether staying with Dylan is fair to either of you. Sometimes love is there, but the path just isn't the same, and nobody's at fault. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. What would you do, and have you ever been in this situation? Our second story today is My Ex Just Won't Move On. On to our second story. My ex won't leave me alone, even though I've apologised. She just refuses to move on. Hi, Aunt Jay. I was with Sophie for almost 3 years. We lived together, shared bills, planned holidays, all of that. But I ruined it. I cheated. She found out, and that was the end of that. I admitted it, I apologised, and I accepted what I'd done. I'd blown it. I thought we'd break up and go our separate ways, but it didn't happen like that. At first, she kept messaging me long texts, angry one day, begging the next. I blocked her number. She made new accounts. If I liked a photo online, she'd comment on it within minutes. She'd pop up on every platform, no matter how many times I blocked her. And when I started seeing someone else, Mia, that's when things really escalated. Within days, Sophie had found her Instagram. She started sending Mia messages, screenshots from our old conversations, telling her that I was a cheat and that she was wasting her time with me. I told Sophie to stop. I blocked her everywhere again. But she didn't. Somehow she found out where Mia worked. One afternoon, she actually went into her workplace and told her colleagues all about me, that I was a cheat and that Mia would be next, and that she should leave me before I ruined her life as well. Mia came home in tears. She felt so humiliated. After that, it wasn't just online. Sophie started turning up in person. If she knew we were out with friends, she'd turn up at the same bar and cause a scene. Once we were at my sister's birthday meal and Sophie arrived, standing by my table shouting about me cheating. My sister, of course, was furious and Mia was mortified, and I just sat there wishing the ground would swallow me. And what makes it worse is that Sophie still speaks to my sister. They were friends before me and Sophie even dated, so my sister feels kind of awkward cutting her off completely. Sophie uses that connection. She tells my sister how heartbroken she still is, and how she just can't move on, and how seeing me with Mia is destroying her. And then it gets back to me, and I feel like I'm being guilt-tripped for something I've already taken responsibility for. I know I did wrong, I cheated, and I hurt her. I don't make excuses for it. It's been over 2 years now. I apologised, I admitted fault, I accepted the consequences. Just don't know what more she wants from me. The problem is I can't move forward with Mia while Sophie is haunting our relationship. Mia's been really patient, but I can see how much this is starting to drain her. Every time the phone pings, she's braced for it to be another message from Sophie. Every time we go out somewhere, she asks, "Do you think Sophie will show up?" I don't want to spend the rest of my life paying for a mistake I already owned up to. At what point am I allowed to move on without being dragged back to someone who refuses to let go? You're right to own the fact that you cheated. That's why this all started. But what Sophie's doing now isn't about holding you accountable. It's about refusing to move on. You apologised. She chose to end the relationship. That should have been the line drawn under it. Instead, she's dragging your new partner into it, and that's not fair for anyone. It's one thing to be hurt, it's another to make someone else's life a battleground because you can't let go. Mia didn't cheat on her, and she doesn't deserve to be harassed or humiliated. And here's the truth, Sophie is still only in your life because you're allowing little doors to stay open. And your sister is one of them. As long as Sophie has a route back in, she'll use it. That's where boundaries come in. And not just from you, but from your family too. You can't change Sophie. You can only change how much access she has to your world. If you don't cut those ties properly, this will keep happening. You made a mistake in the past. You don't have to spend the rest of your life living inside it. Well, those are my thoughts. Have you ever found yourselves in any of these situations? What advice do you have and how would you deal with it? Let me know in the comments section below. Let's keep this conversation going. Thank you for watching and subscribe for more stories like this. I post every single week. But until next time, guard your heart and protect your peace.